Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we'll discuss with you guys about the globalization and how it leads to cultural fragility. This is the outline of my speech. First off, I will start to introduce for you guys my topic. After that, I'll provide some of definitions, and then I'll give you guys some advantages of globalization, and then I'll speak a little bit about homogenization of culture. And I'll give you guys some points of the UAE population. And then I'll end up with my conclusion. So the introduction. I would like to take you a good look around you. I want you guys to look to each other. Okay. You will see your classmate, and everything seems normal. But think about each other more deeply. About where each person is coming from, what they are wearing, what they could be eating during lunch. And eventually, you will come to realize that all of us pretty look the same. Even though we come from different background, different culture, and even probably different traditions, globalization had made us all look and even live the same. I'm sure that if all of us were to bring our great-grandfathers here to class, they would all look different. Following extensive research on the topic of globalization and culture, I'm going to present you that globalization is causing a cultural fragility and urge you to strengthen your cultural identity. After all, it's your identity, and you will make you stand out from the rest. To start, I'll explain what globalization and culture are, and then I will discuss how they have become intertwined, acknowledge that globalization has had some advantages to the world. It is important to be aware of the dangerous globalization and hegemonic power of the West that is molding all of us into one big culture. What is the definition? What is the globalization? Globalization has started hundreds of years ago. It is illustrated the integration of their people, companies, and even territorial boundaries to enhance trade and economics. In the other words, globalization is instead to allow people to contact with business, create a job, opportunity, and enhance the global free market. Culture, on the other hand, is any tradition, language, behavior, and attitude that is based on from generation to generation. I have to say, however, that the globalization has opened doors for millions of people and allowed economics to grow. However, according to a journal article that called "The Fate of Culture" by Tyler Quine, an American economics academic and writer, he claims that we have and we need to do not have to choose when it comes to keeping our culture alive, because the power of homogenizing is too strong and culture will only be destroyed over time. I would like to ask you guys, you would be happy if this phenomenon Jonathan ate up our culture and no longer have a culture we belong to? I guess no. Like, for example, the people, it would be nice to see the people that they are wearing their own clothes. The Syrian guy, he will wear like the red hat that he is wearing. Even the Russian, all the people, the Emirati, the people from Sudan, from all the world, you will see them that they have their own clothes. But now, guys, we see each other that we are wearing what? We are wearing the West clothes. This is my point. Now, so now that you have a bit of understanding of globalization and culture and the homogenizing that is occurring, I would like to draw your attention to a few studies that have been done to further increase the importance of this matter. In globalization leading to the disentanglement of culture, just hear me out. And soon enough, you will know how this topic is related to all of us here at AWS and what you need to do about it, region, your culture, identity. Several research studies have done to understand the economic growth of the Middle East and North African region, to understand the effect on the culture and in the region. According to Martin Norland, the Executive Vice President and Director of Studies at the Pestron Institution of the International Economics, who wrote the article Islam, Globalization and Economic Performance in the Middle East. He claims that in the order for the Middle East to grow and sustain itself economically, its need to absorb new entrants to the labor force. And in order for it to do it, that must accept all processes of economics, diversification that comes with it. Some people in the region feel insecure about these processes. I do like to draw also attention to an interview that was conducted with the Director of Studies and Research Unit at the GCC, General Secretary, Mr. Najib Ashamsi. The first question that interviewer asked him was if he thought the UAE national identity was under threat, to which Mr. Najib answered that he is very concerned about the national identity of the UAE because of the huge entrance of experts that all come from different backgrounds, religion, and countries. He continues to say that this disturbed the balance of the UAE, and this international culture overshadowed the culture of the UAE. Furthermore, Mr. Najib feels that the Arabic language is threatened the most, and the UAE must make every effort to safeguard the language, culture, and national identity of the nation. Now, what may seem humorous to some of you, we'll talk about Sharjah, for example. Some of you may think that Sharjah is boring compared to Dubai. And you know what I mean, what I'm talking about. But one more serious note that I want to talk about, that Sharjah is actually trying to maintain the traditional culture monastic that was once instilled deeply within the UAE, but is facing more threat from globalization and country needs to grow, accommodate all the different cultures that are coming to UAE. Dr. Hassan Radwan, who was head of the art lecture department of the University of Sharjah and has contributed to several journals and books, explains how the UAE is turned into a melting pot of culture. Whilst Sharjah is trying to maintain cultural resilience to strengthen and embolden the identity of the nation. Perhaps now you can see how important it is for anything to have a sense of identity, especially each of your own culture. Here at AUS, we have 6,000 students coming from a variety of countries. But look around in reality, other than some very degrees in skill colors. We are all look the same. I'm wearing the kandora, but any of you wearing your local dress? Why is that? Why is that most of people here looking like they are wearing the clothes that come from the West? Forget clothes for a moment and think about your eating, for example. Do your parents like to eat the same food that you do? Do you think your parents prefer to eat like baby back ribs or from Applebee or like a burger from Johnny O? No. For sure, no. They would like to eat the traditional food, such as what? Such as the kusel with mahshi and these things. So I'm sure that they will not they will not do that. The point is that we are all part of this performance. We are all trying to object the lack of any sense of identity. We are all humans, and God gave us a brain to think for ourselves. It is the time that you become more subjective and consummation things you eat, the way you dress, and even the way you live. Reaching your culture identity. Be proud of it and pass it on the next generation. I will conclude my points that in globalization, allowed to be better instruction on people and business, and it's become easier with advancement of technologies. Culture is one attitudes, norms, language, and food, and even clothes. No doubt, and has globalization allowed nations to grow and thrive, but we cannot underestimate the hidden. Thank you guys for the listening. I'm now gonna pass like some brochure that summarizes my like speech, and I hope you can look, read, feel, and change, and regain your cultural identity. Thank you. I have a lot of sources protected it. I mean, and guys, like, I will give them.
Any questions?
No. Any questions?